ability. And he reached into the bed of his truck behind the cab. And he returned with a tea leaf bundle that was wrapped and tied in the traditional style. He presented it to Jill and me with a grin and simply said the word, makana, gift. Wesselman says, we eyed the large leafy bundle with anticipation for several long moments. When we opened it, we found a beautiful, yet simple, wooden bowl made in the Hawaiian style and shaped like the lower half of a gourd. Makua said, "This is your bowl of light. The light that was a gift from your amakua, your immortal spiritual soul that divided itself before you were born." Ancient Hawaiian wisdom teaches that each of us comes into this world from the great beyond with our bowl of light. And this bowl of light nourishes us and it sustains us as we pass through our lives. As we grow in experience and wisdom, things happen. You ever notice? Sometimes we might lie, or we might steal, or we might injure others with our thoughts or our words or our actions. And when we step into that negative behavior, it's as if we put a stone in our bowl of light. And some of the light that's shining from our bowl is diminished. And slowly, through time, the light that fills up our bowls can dim until it's nearly gone. This talk is titled The Bowl of Light. It's based on Wesselman's book of the same name. Wesselman was an American anthropologist and a scientist who spent a lot of his life living with native people in Africa. Hale Makua was a seventh generation descendant of King Kamehameha. Makua was called a shaman because he had an ongoing relationship with his ancestors. He was considered a kahuna, however, he never called himself a kahuna or a shaman. In the Bowl of Light, Makua and Wesselman impart aspects of deep Hawaiian culture and teachings that can be integrated into our lives and, interestingly enough, reflect and parallel a lot of the spiritual beliefs that many of us have. And the idea is so that we can heal ourselves and heal the planet. And isn't that why we do this work, why we're a part of this work? Because we want to have an influence, certainly on our lives, and bring that light into the world. The bowl of light is a metaphor for that seed of light that comes in and takes up residence within us at the beginning of our lives. Wesselman asked Makua, how do we empty the stones from our bowls? Makana said, it's easy. He picked up the bowl and he turned it over. And he said, you dump it out. But, and there's a big but, from this moment forward, you live your life different because you know what you're doing. It's at that point that you become a spiritual warrior. So how do we become spiritual warriors? We become spiritual warriors by emptying our bowls and forgiving others and ourselves. Because it's not really just about emptying our bowls. It's much deeper. To get to this place of being a spiritual warrior, we have to truly forgive. We have to forgive others. You know, in order to become a spiritual warrior, we have to let go of grudges. We have to let go of judgment. We have to let go of negativity. We have to let go of old memories of things that were done to us. You know, and we can do this from a meditative state of when we go into meditation. The idea that Makua talked about was to take one thing at a time, one person, and think about what did that person do to you that hurt you? What was the deed? Who was the person? And just take one thing. And to mentally, spiritually send out forgiveness to that person. And the idea, of course, is not just to try and forgive everything at once, but just to take one thing at a time. Sort of hold that in the bowl of our hands and reflect on that. Feel that. And forgive the person. Forgive the deed. And really forgive it. You know, to get to a place where we don't go back to it. Ever revisit those places, those people that have hurt you? And the idea is to stop that. Being a spiritual warrior means that we stop doing that and be present in the moment and really be disciplined. And the second thing that we can do in the same way is to forgive ourselves. To find that place, and I think that being in meditation is the most powerful way. And then just to reflect on, what did I do that hurt someone? And I know many of you probably aren't capable of hurting anyone or never did in the past. Right? But we want to remember, even if it's just an idea, even though we don't know for sure, but maybe it was something we said or did that may have hurt someone in the past. And then just reflect on that and to feel that. Feelings are so important. And then to forgive yourself. Just say, it's done, it's over, I forgive myself, I let it go. One thing at a time, unconditional forgiveness, just to let it go. Even the simplest of things. This process is about shedding the burdens that we carry. It's about clearing the energy that is around us, right? We've all felt that energy. We know that everything is energy. And so what do we want to do is we want to clear that energy, clear the field. Carolyn Mess says that we want to clear this field around us. Around us there's a field of electrons that are moving in and around us and in us. And when we focus on hurting somebody or having anger towards somebody, or when we focus on not forgiving ourselves, we actually get sucked into that energy and pulled out of the truth and the essence of who we are. You felt that, haven't you? As you know, because when that happens, it like depletes our life energy. It shuts down our spirit. It shuts down our heart. So we want to be, this is all about being conscious of what we're doing and who we are and how we are presenting ourselves in the world. Because we want to be focused, don't we? We want to share that light with the highest intensity as possible. So every time we do one of these things, to forgive others or forgive ourselves, we're actually taking the rocks out of our bowl and letting them go. We're turning our bowl over and letting the rocks fall out of our bowl. And ideally, the more we do this, we get to a point where we're not putting rocks in the bowl anymore. And we're able to be clear reflections of light, clear essences of light. The affirmation for today is, the light of God shines in me, through me, and as me. Let's say that together. The light of God shines in me, through me and as me. Now, we're going to say that again, and I invite you to just really feel that, right? So you're not just saying these words, you're visualizing this light shining as you, through you, and as you, in you, through you, and as you. So holding that vision, let's say it again. The light of God shines in me, through me, and as me. Makua said to Wesselman that same day, when we begin to walk the path of the spiritual warrior, there are 3 kapus, 3 sacred directives that we must follow. And Makua said to Wesselman, what is the first kapu? And he said, well, the first kapu is that you must love all that you see with humility. And Wesselman said, oh, that's easy. I see love everywhere I go. And Makua laughed. And he said, it took me 7 years to do that. Wow, to really see it, to really see that love everywhere, without judgment, without fear, to see it in every person, in every situation. It sounds easy, doesn't it? Not so much. But what an amazing thing to work on and to focus on. The second kapu is to live all that you feel with reverence. I like what Albert Schweitzer said. He said, if a man loses his reverence for any part of life, he will lose his reverence for all life. By having reverence for all life, we enter into a spiritual relationship with the world, seeing every moment as sacred. Every moment we see it with reverence. Can you see how different that makes every moment be? I like what Steve Goodyear said in this poem called Walk Gently. He said, through life, I want to walk gently. I want to treat all life. I want to treat the earth. I want to treat the people with reverence. I want to remove my shoes in the presence of holy ground. As much as possible, I want to walk in peace. I want to walk lightly, even joyfully, through whatever days I am given. I want to laugh easily. I want to step carefully in and out of people's lives, in and out of relationships. I don't want to tread any heavier than is necessary. And throughout life, I think I would like to have more humility and less anger, more love and less fear. I want to walk deep in appreciation. I want to be genuinely thankful for the extravagant yet simple gifts that life provides. Life is a journey. I want to make this journey really important and to have it reflect in the way that I walk through life. The third kapu. We must know all that we possess with discipline. Makua says, as you know, discipline is essential when you walk the spiritual path. You cannot survive without it. He says, our path is one of humility, reverence, and self-discipline, in which we love, in which we live, in which we know who we are. This is about growing into that which we agreed to be when we came onto this planet. Because we each came here with a purpose. And the very root of who we are is to be the presence of love. And many of us discover in this journey that we're here what it is that we're here to be. We're here to share. It's not about accumulating things. It's really about being present to life. It's really about having humility. He says we're influenced by TV, politics, society, religion, and other people who attempt to control, to manipulate, and disempower us. And we can get caught up in this illusion that distracts us from remembering who we are. Makua says, we come into the world as gods. And we know that's true. It's even evident in the Christian Bible. In fact, you'll find it in John 10:34, where the author wrote, Jesus answered them, is it not written in your laws that I have said you are gods? Anybody know where that comes from? He's actually referring to Psalm 86, second verse, where the author wrote, I have said you are gods, and all of you are sons of the Most High. Wow, that's so powerful. They can breathe that in. Just feel that. Breathe that. We are all gods. What does that mean? That means we have the ability to create. We have the ability to love. We have the ability to manifest. We have the ability to influence other people with our love and our hearts and our truth. Swami Vivekananda said, the moment I have realized God sitting in the temple of every human body, the moment I stand in reverence before every human being and see God in him or her, in that moment I am free from bondage. Everything that binds vanishes, and I am free. Knowing this truth, knowing that we are gods, it's really important to do this with humility, right? Because this statement can be misunderstood and misinterpreted. And Makua says that, when we have this spiritual wisdom, when we are on this spiritual path, when we have these spiritual truths, it gives us a lot of responsibility. And we must share that responsibility, that information, with humility. We're not doing it from a place of the old standard about God, which is God is up here and we're down here. We're not better than anyone else. We see that presence in others, knowing that it's within us, that it is one with who we are. We are one with this presence of God. So the third kapu is we must know all that we possess and do so with discipline. knowing what our strengths are, knowing what our weaknesses are, and loving ourselves, forgiving others, forgiving ourselves. After offering the third kapu, Makua said, when we come from a place of humility, we connect with the energy of compassion, allowing us to experience the power of aloha. When we accept this aloha and live it, we are drawn unavoidably toward reverence. Through knowing what we possess, and this includes all that possesses us, which is kind of an interesting thought, isn't it? To really realize, what is it that possesses me? Kind of puts a different spin on this idea. We find our discipline. And in order to discover who we are, as well as where and what we are, self-discipline is essential, because without it, we cannot progress. Wesselman says, as the long day on the Kilauea crater came to an end, Makua prepared to leave. He walked up to me and gently pressed his forehead and nose against mine, briefly looking into my soul as we shared a breath. And then he smiled, and he kissed me lightly on the cheek, and he left with the words, "Love you." Then he turned and got into his truck, and as he started the engine and backed up, he leaned out the window and said, "Ahui ho!" Until next time. Wesselman says, since that day, the kahuna's bowl has traveled with me. It holds a candle, and thus the light in the center of the circles of my workshops and presentations. Whenever I need, I put my face into the bowl and breathe deeply, replenishing and restoring my supply of light. And periodically, when I've stepped temporarily into the negative polarity, I sit with the bowl in light meditation. And then I turn it over and empty it out. The light of God shines in me, through me, and as me. Let's say that together. The light of God shines in me, through me, and as me. Breathing in and breathing out. Oh, you're loving me. Breathing in, allowing this light, this love to move to every cell, to every space, to every thought, to every feeling. Breathing in and breathing out. And imagine that in front of you is your bowl. Maybe it looks like your hands acting as a bowl in front of you. Breathing in and seeing this bowl of light filled with the light of truth, the light of spirit, the light of love. just maybe, there's a rock in this bowl. And you might ask this rock, what do you represent? Do you represent someone that I can forgive? A deed, something that happened to me in the past, something someone said or did. Or do you represent something that I have not forgiven myself for? Something that I said or did or hurt someone, hurt myself. And if this rock could talk, what would it say? And in the same way, imagine that you can send your forgiveness. You can hand your forgiveness. You can see your forgiveness moving into this rock, into the other person or into a deed that they did to you. Or perhaps it represents something that you did or said that now you can finally release and forgive yourselves. Breathing in. Imagine the light in your bowl expanding, shining bright. As the light of forgiveness surrounds this rock. And gently, this rock turns into light. And you turn over your bowl and let it go. And let us hold this forgiveness for just a few moments in the silence. I invite you to begin to bring your awareness back to this moment. Breathing in, breathing out. And to begin to see the light that's in this room filtering through your eyelids. And gently and slowly open your eyes to be here and now in the light. And so it is. So I invite you at this time to begin to pray your prepare your tithes and your love offerings, and and as you do so, to give thanks for our growing and expanding community that we have, and to give thanks for the ability for us to be able to be together and to celebrate these truths that are changing our lives. Anybody in this room have their lives changed by the teachings that we teach? Anyone? And it just touches me, how amazing it is to be part of this teaching and part of the unity movement, which is transforming lives all over the world. And I know that the work that we do helps with that. So when you give of your love offerings to us this morning, you help to work with us as a team to continue to perpetuate this work. So thank you for your gifts, and thank you for who you are. I know that we create what we're doing together. This is a work for all of us and for all of you out there watching as well. I know that our consciousness is making a difference in the world. And if you're watching out there and you'd like to contribute to Unity on Maui, you can do so by going to our webpage, www.unityonmaui.org, and make a safe donation there. And you can also send a check to Unity on Maui, 483 South High Street in Wailuku. And thank you for that. So as we hold our gifts, let's, in this consciousness of love that we've created this morning, let's hold them and affirm and pray together our affirmation of prosperity, which begins, and let's say it together, through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Namaste. These gifts that have come to us in love, we hold them, we bless them, we give thanks for them. And we know that they are moving in and through and as us, as this light out into the world. And we behold a world filled with light, with love, and with peace. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. Well, we've got just a few announcements today. Today's flowers are offered by Emily, who has a sty in her eye this morning. And so she couldn't be here. She was having painful difficulty seeing. But thank you, Emily, for these flowers, which are in memory of her brother David, who passed last year. And if you would like to offer flowers on a Sunday morning, we certainly give that opportunity to you. And if you can sign up on a sheet on the back table to do so, and let us know what you would like these flowers to be offered to. So I'll go ahead to the next announcement. Next Sunday, Darlene Strickland is going to be here, and her talk is titled My Celestial Canoe. And she and I have been talking, and we've got some fun things planned for you. I'm still going to be here, and Robin's going to be here as well. And I think that Darlene wants to sing something next week. I'm not sure what that is, but we're looking to create something with her for that, so that'll be a lot of fun. And also, our beloved Kurt is going through some healing right now, and I'd like to invite Joy and Louise or whoever wants to come up and tell us about a fundraiser we're doing for him. Do y'all know Joy? Remember Joy? Woo-hoo! Let me grab you a microphone here.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kurt's daughter. I'm going to try not to cry because I really want to get through this, but I grew up in this church. I grew up in that kekiale right there. Mm-hmm. And my dad shared with me the other day that this year marks 20 years that he's been here with us at Unity. I wanted to just share this really quick story with you guys so you have a little bit of a window into my dad. When I was about 6, younger than my older son, my dad asked me, "Who are you?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "I'm Joy." He said, "No, that's your name. Who are you?" I said, "I'm a girl." He said, "No, that's your gender. Who are you?" And he kept going and going and going, and every answer that I gave, he just kept going. My dad is a lifetime learner and a lifetime questioner, and he taught me to question everything about who I think I am. And the reason why he is that way is because he has a deep spiritual nature, though he might not describe it that way. The reason why my dad's music affects everyone around him is because he is devoted to it. He is devoted to the primordial sound, the primordial vibration that binds us all together. So we have set up a GoFundMe. We're going to post a flyer somewhere. Reverend Blaine, thank you for giving us that space to help him get better quickly so that he can be here with us quickly. Thank you.
Thanks, Joy. So if you are inclined to give to Kurt and the GoFundMe, if you want to write Joy a check or give Joy a check, you can do that and make it out to Joy, right? Or that's probably the best thing, yeah? Or Kurt or whatever. Okay, so next Sunday, March 27th, we're going to have a town hall meeting after the service at 12:30. I invite you to bring a lunch to eat, and then for our meeting, after our meeting, that's all, folks. I sound like Porky the Pig there for a second. So we'll talk about some of the new developments, ideas that we have for our sanctuary and for our ministry, and to talk about how we are, and how we're doing, and answer any questions you might have. So it'll be a stimulating, invigorating meeting. So come for that. It'll be 12:30 next week. And also, Robin, we are going to create a group of singers for Easter. Oh, you need a microphone.
Do I?
Yeah. Whoops. Musical microphone. So Robin's going to tell you about that.
Hi. So I really like having friends up here singing with me when I'm up here. And so I would like to ask if there's people who enjoy singing and would like to help participate, create a real celebration on Easter, then I have a little sign-up sheet, right? And this is not choir. I want to be clear on that. We'll have 1 or 2 meetings. We'll learn some easy, fun, very fabulous songs and come up here and add energy to our celebration. And so on this sheet I started, got a name and an email address, a phone number, and just kind of a time when would be a good rehearsal time for you. So whether that's weekend or weekday evenings or whatever. So hoping to gather a few of you up to sing Rolling Back the Stone with me, all right?
Okay. Thank you. Well, that'll be fun. And we'll put that on the back table by the exit. You can sign up for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Also, yes, our Unity Convention is coming up in June, and it's always open to whomever wants to come, and oftentimes members in Unity churches or just people who are interested or on the board or volunteers want to come and be a part of the convention. And so I'm putting this opportunity out to you. It would require that you pay your own way and to the conference and on all that. But I tell you, it's amazing and so exciting to sit in a room with 300 or 400 or 500 Unity people. enough said. Gets me right here. So anyway, without further ado, also my Walk Your Talk is printed out back there if you want to take home the ideas that I shared with you today. And it'll also be, for those of you watching on church couches, it'll also be in our e-blast on Thursday when that comes out. All right, I think we've come to this part. Everyone, please stand. And so we'll pray the prayer of protection together, and then Robin will play, and we will sing the peace song, if we are willing and able. Anybody willing and able? Yep. I knew that was the case. So let's pray the prayer of protection together. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you for being here today. Aloha and mahalo. See you next week. Where I live, they're all raised.